Hello, hello. And in today's stream, I'm going to be working some more on Miria, the sixth sage. And so right now, I'm trying to make her a bit more dynamic. Like, I do think that her arms are a bit too big. So I want to go in and fix that. Make her arms a bit more skinnier because, again, she is an idol type character, a starlet, so to speak. Now, to carry over from what I was working on last stream, I essentially, her design is heavily inspired by Y2K fashion. I wanted to give her like this sort of off the shoulder top, and she has two big afro puffs on the side of her head with like a small little tuft of hair in the middle, just because her hat is sort of pushing her hair down. Hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna need to slim her down just a little bit more. I mean, slim down her arms because I don't want to give her like these big man arms. I basically just drew this so that I could get a mental idea of her musculature as where her body is properly oriented. But I definitely plan on doing another layer over her body, sort of showing where everything is at. I also plan on slimming this down as well. Like her legs don't need to be that big, or at least that thick. Like this is definitely, what's the proper word, in the works. So I'm trying to slim down what I can and rework what I can and need to. Wow, my pictures of pretty girls get more views of my handsome men. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but like, still, this is me just starting my stream, and folks are already in love. Like, I don't mind, but like, it's kind of, you know, never mind. Just thank you all for stopping by and watching my channel. You guys are awesome, amazing. I enjoy your company and presence. I do want to lower this opacity just a little bit because for this pose in particular, I want to make it more dynamic. So let me lower. Actually, let me turn this layer off. Hmm. So I'm trying to make this pose more dynamic. I definitely want to accentuate her skinny frame. As for her chest, because she's doing this thing where she is angling her chest up, her feminine assets are also going to be angled upwards, so to speak. So I have to sort of draw them and orient them in a way to where they are coming up like this. Hmm. It's actually kind of funny. I think even though I tried to mainly draw male characters, my female characters end up having better designs and better like poses. I don't know. It's weird. Art, okay, let me just tell you guys something. Art is very weird in the sense that you can like or want to draw one specific thing or one specific sort of design, but as time passes, there are certain things that come more naturally to you. Now, I think that this sort of hip placement is a bit too low. It needs to be higher. This is coming along nicely. I'm glad I decided to reorient and redraw this character. Well, really reorient this pose I went with. Because this was a bit difficult for me to, well, draw. Hmm. Trying to figure out where this arm is going to be placed. Because it gets cut off. And actually, now that I look at it, like her pelvic slash groin area is a bit off. So I'm going to have to come back to that. And actually, let me fix that real quick because I don't like how it's oriented. It does not hurt to look at models sometimes. When I draw women, there is usually a sort of triangle shape or triangle motion I use where from her shoulders to about where her belly button is a general triangular shape. That's how I capture the average hourglass esque figure of a woman. Whereas for men, I mainly use squares. Oh, hey, Seth, you're back. How have you been? It's like, when it comes to me and my art, it's not that I'm opposed to using references. I do think that references are something that is needed for art. I mean, like, I'm not, that's not even a question. References are definitely something needed for art. It's just, I guess I just have my own mental issue where I try to be a master at things. I mean, not really be a master, but I try to keep all the information in my mind when there are definitely ways and methods of how to better go about drawing on information. That doesn't make sense at all. I was just like talking into the sky, like you guys didn't understand a lick of what I had just said. But anyway, I am glad to see that my previous stream got. Oh, that's perfectly fine. These streams are come as you want, go as you want. So if you guys want to leave, do something else, or check back later, then by all means do that. What was I saying? Um, now I forgot what I was gonna say. This is a nice rough. And then I can just go back and add the clothes. Yeah, I like the little afro puffs I gave her on the side. Like, that's a nice design choice. And then her top sort of has this little two sort of ribbons that hang on the back of it. I definitely need to go back and sort of refine it. I also need to fix her hair over there on that edge right there. Let me actually do that real quick. Now, my question is, do I want to give her regular shoes or do I want to give her heels? Well, I mean, so in that like 90s pop sensation era, like what kind of shoes? I'm pretty sure they had like platform heels actually. Yeah, the platform heel was very much in these days. Like I did like a quick search and all I see is like platform heels. It's either platform heels or like long like thigh high boots. And she's already wearing the like the little dusters or like chap variant around her legs. So I do think that the platform heels would definitely help her. Help her overall design, I mean. You know, it's actually very funny. Well, not really funny, but like kind of odd. Destiny's Child was definitely the poster for Y2K fashion. I definitely see it. Now, I wonder if what I can do is instead of giving her like these chap type designs, I could actually change it and augmented it into sort of like a detached bell bottom sort of fabric that comes around. Ooh, this is actually giving me a lot of ideas. So let me just erase this real quick. It's like when I start drawing and when I start sitting down with you guys and like doing this, I get like a bunch of ideas. Actually, let me zoom out real quick just so I can get a more holistic view of the character. I'm going to lower the opacity of this character right here. I mean, of this pose right here. And then I am going to take this and we are going to do this. Ooh. I've been drawing on the wrong layer. No wonder the lines look weird. But shoot, if I make them too low, actually no, that's gonna be fine. That it's gonna be fine how it is. Okay, so now let me zoom in and okay, I definitely no, I'm thinking too far ahead. I'm already thinking of colors when I should really just focus on the design right now, and I can choose the colors later. Like this, I am so excited working on Miria because at first I thought she was going to be difficult, but now that I have sort of like a base point to jump off of, which is she is going to be like this forefront for like Y2. Okay, so I'm just trailing off right now. But to bring it back to center, I need to remember what this show is about. This show is based in the magical sci-fi sort of like tech future where there is magic and advanced technology. This is coming out of the early like the late 90s, early 2000s when magic had a resurgence. So there has been a bit of a standstill where people are wearing revealing yet baggy clothing, or like they have some form of exposed skin somewhere, or they have some sort of like baggy fabric somewhere on their body. And because Miria is a pop star, and she's sort of the head, at least when it comes to this group of people, she's the head of this sort of era. Her design definitely has to be the design that best embodies that sort of Y2K meets cyberpunk aesthetic. So this is why I'm definitely taking my time with her. Now, while I was drawing her and working on her, I didn't actually have a chance to brainstorm her magic because I guess she's just such a forward character. What I mean by that is oftentimes when singer sort of idol characters, pop star characters, I mean, are drawn and designs, especially when it comes to their magic system, it often revolves around using music or being a siren type character that allures and attracts people. This is definitely a concept that I want to steer away from, at least for Miria. I want her to uplift people, but I want her to actually have power instead of relying on her beauty, if that makes sense. Still something wrong with the shorts. I just need to make this bigger. I've been kind of thinking, what if I were to, I don't know, start a gaming playlist of like the random games I play. Like I play a lot of Crusader Kings, at least on my off time. So that could definitely be something fun I do. And then I play a lot of Genshin Impact, okay? Like that is one of my most favorite games. I love the side quests, I love the side stories. Like there's so much lore. I also could do like an Elden Ring game, but that's freaking crazy. Like that's the kind of game you have to play with somebody cuz I'd be looking over my shoulder. I'd be afraid of dang near everything. Well, not everything, but I would feel a type of way. excuse me. Well, I don't think you're supposed to say excuse me when you sneeze. I know the other person is supposed to say bless you. Now to give her some platform shoes. Okay, I know Trina. She wears high heels. But do I want to give Miria some like some platform sneakers, or like some platform heels? Like go full Destiny's Child inspiration and give her some heels. Well, I mean, because I guess I could give her like sandals, like platform sandals. That'd be better. No, but Trina already wears high heels, and high heels are kind of like sandals. I'll give her like the platform sneakers. That'd be like a pretty cool. Platform heel sneakers. I never thought I'd see the day. Okay. But, it's for this character's design, so I guess it's alright. Now, I think for her next pose, I'm definitely going to put her hatless, just so people can get an idea of what her hair actually looks like. Hmm. I didn't intend for it, but she ended up being left handed. A lot of my characters actually end up being left handed. I guess it's because I'm left handed. Oh, hello, computer edits. How are you? It's nice to see a new face. Thank you for saying that. That's a nice compliment. Anyway, let me give you the proper rundown. Welcome to Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art. I am a 2D animator, graphic designer, and character concept designer. I also do a bit of video editing and audio editing on the side. But I got my bachelor's degree in media, so that's sort of the main thing that I do. And currently, I'm working on my own original show. Right now, I have two series I'm working. Well, two anim. Not. Take a step back. I am working on two speed paint series. My first one is a character concept series where I go over the seven main characters of my show, The Seven Sages, which is essentially a science fantasy show that blends magic and technological advancement, where after an event known as the Cascade, magic returns to the world, leading to everyone being able to use magic, the introduction of different fantasy races like beastmen, elves, orcs, um, people with animal features, stuff like that. Hyperflora and hyperfauna, like deers or snakes having like crystalline protrusions coming from their bodies or their other sort of, or their teeth and antlers. And then like giant plants with different magical properties. And so, where the Seven Sages comes in is it is a show following seven men and women who are seeking revenge for injustices done against them. The first character is Saren. He is the seventh sage, so he is the newest member. And right now, I'm working on the sixth sage, Miria, who is the sixth sage. There are seven of them in total. Oh, sure. Ask away. What is your question, computer edits? So the red is actually a stand-in. Like sometimes I use black or red to rough out my line art, but when it comes down to it, I am going to settle on a nice browner shade of color for the final line art. I'm just getting the sort of rough idea of the character down. And so many artists choose different colors for their rough passes. Some artists choose black, other artists choose their favorite color. In my case, I like to use my least favorite color so then I don't spend too much time on it and so then I can subconsciously work faster through it because my favorite colors are actually the bluer, more cooler colors. But each artist sort of finds their own niche and finds their own method and way of drawing and working on a concept. Being an artist is fun, but it's not all that it's cracked up to be. Like, you need to have a following and you also need industry connections if you want to actually have a job in the industry. The whole issue with that is that the industry is simultaneously competitive as well as very gate kept. So if you are a newbie who is just coming in on the scene, then you're going to be a while before you actually get accepted by any jobs. And my sort of art journey was very difficult because for the life of me, nobody wanted to hire me. And it is that dual aspect of me not being skilled enough yet, as well as the industry just overall being very closed minded. They like to have their go to 3 or 4 artists, and they don't really like to hire new talent or new people. So that leaves people into either, for the sake of for the sake of no better word, dying in obscurity, or trying to go it at their own pace, or go off on their own sort of art journey. And so, what actually has been happening is there are, sadly, the industry is sort of shutting down. There has been a drop in quality content as well as viewership. There are constant artist layoffs or like different issues that are going about. I actually did some coding. You would actually be surprised how much code goes into art proper, especially if you're on the more game design of things, where you have to make sure that your props work, that your timing is going correctly, that your scene is playing out properly, so that all becomes sort of like code issues, issues with your code that you have to troubleshoot either yourself as the artist, or you'd have to dedicate an entire role in your company to someone being that go-to coder. Um, but there is definitely a lot of intention that goes into art and design choices. And what I mean by that is every brushstroke, every choice someone makes, there is a reason behind it. Let me actually see if I can find some of my previous art. Let me find my strongest piece actually. Um, yeah, we'll go with my previous character design, Saren. So this is Saren, the previous character I chose, and there was a lot of intention towards his design. He's ex-military, so that's why you see the gray tank top. He is a redhead, so he is someone of Scottish descent. The gray and green comes from his military background. He is ex-military, whereas the low cut V sort of shows off his more, let's say, um, sexually active personality, I guess you could say. I'm trying to find a better word to put for this. We then have an OC I created. This is Angel Spider. It was, so basically when Across the Spider Verse came in, I wanted to create my own Spider Sona, and this is Angel Spider. He is a he is a Spider-Man variant that is a priest, and so he has access to divine light and energy, and he also can shoot divine webbing that can seal as well as repress and bind people. So I chose white as the main color, and then these blues are more akin to the Virgin Mary. I also like the little web design I did around his shawl slash cloak design. And I do like the. Is he was. I mean, yeah, if you saw like a guy in a white spider costume, you'd probably be scared. He's actually inspired by. What was it called? Like the white. Not a trapper spider. It was like an old. Not really Gwen. He's actually inspired by the camel spider, which is a spider that does not create webbings. Not a camel spider, a crab spider. My bad. The Australian crab spider. Let me pull up a picture. He's inspired by the Australian crab spider, who is poisonous, and they actually wrestle and bite their victims. So that's sort of the design concept I chose for him. But yeah, when you are designing a character, there is a lot of intention that goes into it because you have to put their personality as well as their story on display when you're making a character. So because this world is very much coming out of the late 90s and early 2000s, that's why I put so much emphasis on the Y2K fashion sense and fashion style of people having revealing clothing, but then also blending that with cyberpunk design and fashion, where clothes are very modular, geometric in style and design, as well as serving a overarching purpose. And then because of the fantasy aspect, I also wanted to blend some fantasy of like baggy flowing fabrics. So Miria has her sort of like scarf design that you see in the back behind her. Oh, thank you so much. And feel free to come by anytime you want. This is Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art, so you can come and go as you please. Just sit here with me, chill for a bit. If you want to leave and go, then you can leave and go. If you want to come back later, then come back later. That's how we do things here. I don't try to force anybody to stay. Like, you all are awesome. Thank you, and please have a nice day. I was talking about the industry. Okay, I, as a person, for those of you who remain, I am a person who I've tried everything. Okay, like I'm just gonna say what it is. Like I've tried everything to get into the industry, and so from my conclusion is it is just competitive. Like it's competitive as all get out. That's really the only way I can describe it, and that's really the only way I can put it into words without me sort of going crazy or losing my mind. Cause when you think about it, it makes no sense as to how or why there is such a prevalence of these sort of gig economy of Hollywood. Like, there could definitely be more success and more stability. Like, the industry doesn't need to be as chaotic as it is, yet it is this manufactured chaos that gives people more power over others. And so I have done everything I am doing because I desire to essentially break like I want more stable jobs for people. I am of the firm belief that people should be able to find some sort of job or work after college. So they shouldn't have to jump through 10, 20, 30 different hoops just to find a job. And so the issue that comes with specifically media and entertainment is that because it is a industry and a place where you need to be friends with somebody. Yes, I watch anime and cartoons. My favorite cartoons growing up were Pokemon, Code Lyoko, and Witch. Code Lyoko was definitely up there. Like that sort of formed my desire and love for anime. And then I got deeper into Pokemon, and then I didn't really watch a lot of Dragon Ball Z, but what I did watch was like Naruto growing up, and that was basically it. Naruto. I tried to get into Sailor Moon. I saw like the first two or three dubbed seasons, and then I watched Starlights, but I had to watch that in the Japanese dub because it wasn't um, translated over. I then got into Madoka Magica, which is actually really good. Um, Dang, what else did I watch? Naruto Shippuden, One Piece, though I only watched One Piece like later in my teens. My Hero Academia was a big one for me. And then really after My Hero Academia, I just started doing a lot of like D&D, and in recent years I've been doing a lot of Cyberpunk Red, where like I play where I'm a DM and a storyteller. So like I watched a lot of that and did a lot of that. But definitely anime has sort of forged my taste. I played anime games and anime inspired games like Honkai Impact. I love Genshin Impact. I love the lore, story, and world building of Genshin Impact. Um, couldn't get into Honkai Star Rail. I love Cyberpunk 2077. Played a bit of Skyrim, but I just couldn't stay on it long. And Final Fantasy 14 is awesome. I know we were talking about anime, but like I just sort of devolved into video games. So when you're drawing a nose, sometimes you have to do like a diamond shape. Some people do diamond shapes, other people do triangles. How you sort of define your noses are up to you. Some people just do this and then they will expand on it. Add the little sort of like nose hole. But they start with this sort of like triangle shape. Other people sort of like to draw diamonds. Sort of like this triangle shape. And they can either go this way and sort of do that, or they can shrink it and sort of do like a front sort of design. Oh no, I am American, baby. Well, actually, I'm African American. My dad is full Nigerian. He's from Nigeria. Whereas my mom and her people, they're from Virginia. But they're like deep African American. Like they were like, born in America. Do I sound Australian? I mean, I wouldn't be opposed if I was. I'm just curious. Oh, you're from Afghanistan? I heard the Middle East was a beautiful place. It's very deep, full of culture and like old history. Actually, I want to make this eyebrow a bit more dynamic, so let me just. Bye. I hope you enjoyed. I sound Australian. I mean, that's the first time I got that. I mean, I feel like people usually just pick up right away that I'm American. I mean, Australian. That is the first time I have ever gotten that before. I have not traveled abroad. I have stayed in North Carolina all my life. Now, I did have a family event happen in Connecticut. So there was like this long road trip where we went from Virginia to Connecticut. We passed through New York, which was beautiful. New York is a beautiful city. But other than like North Carolina and the occasional trip to Virginia to see family, like Williamsburg and Richmond, I have never been anywhere else in my life. But I am well read and I also stay up to date on the news, so that is one thing. No, traveling across the states is easy. You don't even need like you really don't even need a driver's license. You just get in the car and you can go into any other state. There's no checkpoints. There's no like getting checked or anything. If you want to go from North Carolina to Virginia, all you got to do is just get in your car or walk and hop across that state border. Now, if you are like driving a car, there might be some sort of like toll road where you have to stop your car and pay like $1.25 or $2 in order to use that highway or to use that toll road in order to pass. But for the most part, like you can travel anywhere in the US you want to on foot, by plane. You may need your passport for like interstate travel, but even things like the train, all you really need is like that one train ticket or like a back and forth train pass and you can go anywhere you want. Mm, from one city to another state city, it really depends. Sometimes it can be anywhere, depending on how close you are. It depends from city to city, is what I'm trying to say. Sometimes it can be an hour and 30 minutes of a drive. Other times it can be like 2 hours and 20 minutes. It really depends on where you're going. Like at an 80 mile an hour, um, on an 80 mile an hour like highway or freeway, it can take anywhere from 1.5 hours to 2 hours to get from a city in one state to a city in another state. Oh yeah, right. You go by kilometers. I'm sorry. What's that conversion? I mean, it would still probably take like an hour or two of a drive, but my point still stands. Is it really like LA? I mean, like you'd think that your traffic would be better. Like I always feel like, not feel, but like I always thought that other countries had a better hold on traffic because America is a car based society. Like, this is in our history. Like, we have foregone public transit, and things are so far away from each other that our economy literally requires that we own cars. Especially since public transit is so horrible that it can take anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour for a scheduled bus to loop back around if you miss it. I mean, cause I see like videos and I watch research essays and studies about how Japan has like amazing public transit. They have a whole railway system that can take you throughout the entire country. Even China has good public transit. Europe has beautiful sidewalks. And that's sort of why I like the city where I live in because my city, sometimes it will be faster to just run around. And that's why I love my city because my city is beautiful. Like it's not walkable because we're still in America, but we have public transit to where if I want to, I can take the bus to the mall or I can take the bus downtown and go to a cafe and easily go back home in the next 2 or 3 hours. And America would definitely benefit if we did more with public transit and we did more to reinforce our economy. But people just want to get richer. That's really all. That's really all. I've traveled to Malaysia, no heavy traffic at all. I think most of sea countries have much better than ours. Man, public transit is so needed, but our government is trying to kill ours right now, not giving public driver's license. That's nice. You have a better public transit in your city than the average American city. I mean, now of the American cities, I can say for certain that Houston, Texas has the best public transit because it has gone the extra mile of advancing its bus system as well as its train system. And then they've just established many different walkways and sidewalks. Second best, I would say, is California. And then trailing behind them is, oh, hello, computer edits, welcome back. And then trailing behind them is New York, but New York is declining because they just put back, well, not put back, but they just put in a sort of automobile tax where they charge you for parking or they're charging you for entering and exiting the city, which is horrible. Just horrible. What was I gonna say? I am very much a person. Sadly, I do not speak Spanish. I do speak a little bit of French, but I'm rusty on it because I've I took like advanced. I took advanced French in high school. What was I gonna say? I was talking about public transit. New York is good, but it's slowly declining because of their automobile tax. Oh, bonjour, ça va? Anyway, they're slowly behind because of their automobile tax, and I am very much a believer that there is no one cause or no one reason. Things in this world are interlaced, where there are constantly things either directly or indirectly affecting each other. We do have one sort of rain. We have one train system in Raleigh, but that is for out of city transit, not intercity transit. So we do not have a train that takes us from like the north side of the city to the south. We have a train that takes us from Raleigh to Richmond to Houston to other places around the world. I don't really get into political issues that much, but sure, why not? Ask your political question. Mm, well, Palestine or Israel? Yeah, that's a bit of a hot button issue, but hmm. I am a Christian man. As a believer in the Bible, as a believer of justice, peace, and pacifism, I can comfortably say that both sides have committed atrocities. They've done very strange things, they've done very cruel and unusual things, both sides. And yet, I have no authority to speak or act on anything that happens. I think that this should stay a conflict between Palestine and Israel. And whatever may happen, whether Palestine or Israel wins, everyone should just live by it. Pretty much. If they cease fire, good. If they have to keep fighting until some sort of agreement is reached, I mean, I hate to see death, but I'll accept that. But this is a issue between Israel and Palestine, and people can help if they want to, but do not be surprised or do not be hurt if you get more drawn into either their conflict or a tertiary conflict because of it. But I'm not going to try to stay on this topic for too long. But I do understand why people often ask artists these issues and questions because of many artists. I wouldn't put myself in this category. Like, I can never claim that title. But many artists do become or are often philosophers on top of their artistic ability because of the way they perceive the world, project their stories, write their messages, whatever their medium is. It gives them a sort of different or new take on reality or a different view. So there has constantly and always been this sort of status symbol when it comes to having an artist in your pocket or an artist on your, I guess, political team, so to speak. Well, that was a bit of a dour subject. I mean, not really dour, but when I talk about things, I typically try to only go over art and things that pertain to the art world, even when art can reflect reality. I try to concentrate on art. I've been lost this past few days finding the art that I want to create. I only to find out what I wanted all along. It's always been there, and I should have seen it sooner. So I'm both happy and you see that's understandable because in life we go through highs and lows, and as we make and find discoveries about ourselves, we can be drawn to or pulled from the things that we like to do in our day to day. And so, in those highs and lows, sometimes what you do need is to take a break. Like, I haven't been animating recently, so then I just sat and said, okay, I don't like animating right now. There's just a lot of emotional baggage. So let me take. It's like there's a difference between trying to do art and not being able to do it, and then intentionally choosing to take a break from it. So sometimes what you have to do is intentionally take a break from your art. You're welcome. I try to be a lending ear to anyone and everyone I meet. I mean, even I don't have all the answers, but I try to share my perspective or things I have done and learned in order to help people. I don't think anyone has all the answers. People have either the most answers to a few things or a few answers to the most things, but they don't have all the answers. You do get more when you grow older, but nobody has time to wait till they're 80 before we recreate our same mistakes. Do you have advice on how I can tell my really religious mom that I'm an NSFW artist? I mean, I don't really want to tell her, but it's sad not being able to show her my art when she asks for it. I mean, I'm not an NSFW artist myself, even though I've definitely thought about drawing it. The best advice I can give you is instead of presenting your mom NSFW art, perhaps you could use more not really repressed, but some more reserved conservative and like use more suggestive or subtle poses rather than drawing full out nudity is what I'm trying to say. And then you can like show your mom that, and that may soften the blow a little bit. And then you could just veer away from NSFW for a while and maybe draw and design some pieces that you can present to your mom. It's fine. It's fine. I like weird questions. I like any sort of questions. I just like talking to people. Hmm. You won't. You are less likely to get disowned. You're more likely to get disowned if you do something crazy. Like if you did something bordering illegal or immoral. If you're just drawing like sex, if you're just drawing sexy art, then that's fine. You just don't have to tell anyone you're drawing sexy art. It's really it's really that simple. Just draw more art or work on other projects that aren't as sexually charged, and then you should be fine. And unless you post your art on like a pseudonym, don't tell your mom like your Twitter or your, if you're really old, your Tumblr. But like no. You're not gonna get disowned for art. I mean, if you don't mind me asking, is your NSFW art like male characters or female, or do you draw both? I'm just curious. oh. Okay, that anime, what's it called? Don't Test Me Nagatora, or like whatever her name is. That was by an NSFW artist. Like he drew hentai. And then there's the whole Ishizoku reviewers. That stems from hentai as well. So I mean, what you draw as an artist. Hmm. I don't know how to put this because now I've gone into a spiral. Just because you draw NSFW art does not rate or decline your skill as an artist. So even if you prefer to draw things that are sexually charged, you still have the skills to draw many different things and to approach various different avenues for your art. So if you really desire to show your mother your artistic skill, then you should try drawing some things that aren't sexually charged that you feel comfortable sharing with your mother. Because there are certain things that your mom shouldn't see that you shouldn't present to your mom. So just be safe and just be smart about it. And I was gonna say so. I was gonna say something, but I don't know how or where to take this subject now. I mean, I'm working on a painting of my mom, so I need to finish that up. And it's gonna be a personal piece, so I don't plan on posting it to the internet or anything like that. It's just strictly going to stay between me and my mom. Yes, it's gonna be traditional. I am using acrylic paint, and it's going to be a combination of impressionist and what's it called? Acrylic paint, and I'm using impressionist, and it's gonna be an impressionist painting. Thank, thank you. It was just a spur of the moment decision. But anyway, I'm done adding details, so now all I really need to do is just do a final pass over on some of this. I do still need to like alter the depth of some things, either add detail or subtract detail from certain places, maybe make some hands bigger, but all in all, this is practically done. See, I keep saying click save, click save. You should be saving often, cause anything anything can happen. Anything can happen, so you need to be saving often. But this is normal, okay? Accidents always happen whenever you're doing art, which is why you need to be at the top of it. But that's life. Live and let learn. So I am going to lower the opacity. I'm going to open a new frame, a new layer, and for this color, she seems like an orangish yellow. How much time do I draw every day? I actually used to draw a lot. Like, I used to draw from sun up to sundown. Then, when I got my job, that sort of put a damper on things. So, like, for the first few months of my job, I would dedicate as much time as I could to like animating 2 to 3 hours before I go to work, and then like an hour or two after I clocked out. But recently, I haven't been drawing that often. Like sometimes I'll just boot up YouTube and watch YouTube. Other times I will just like do other stuff. I haven't been drawing and animating as I should. But I do still have my sketchbook, and I definitely try to draw in my. If I sound like I'm growing quieter, that's because I'm plugging in my phone to be charged. It's at 60%. But since starting my job, I haven't drawn or animated like I've done in the past. And it's definitely a new and different experience because I constantly feel self conscious about it. Like, I'm like, gosh, I should be drawing right now. I should be working on this. I should be working on my story. I should be working on my pilot or like some other thing. Like, after this stream, I'm gonna be working some more on my Genshin Impact Archon series where I go over the different archons and how they relate to the Christian God. And I'm also going to be working on my mother's portrait. Getting a non art job is a dual edged sword because on one end of the spectrum, uh, on one end of the spectrum, I understand. Not doing your art, you feel like you wasted your life. You feel like you are just doing nothing. But then on the other end, you kind of need money. At least here in America, you need money to get things. You need money to buy the things that you want or the things that you need. Like, I need money to pay for my Adobe subscription. And I found things that I like, that I enjoy, that keeps me motivated to do my art. I found my channel. I found videos I wanted to create. I'm constantly coming up with new ideas for animations to do. That has sort of kept me going this entire time. And then the animation industry is just so competitive right now that you kind of need to play whatever cards you have that's been dealt to you. Like, long term, long term, I plan on opening my own animation studio, so I need capital and I need savings in order to do it. And I also need to pay off my student loans because I can't start a business with like $100,000 in debt. Like, I just can't do that. Right now, I'm just in the market for a higher paying, better paying job. That's what I want. That's what I need. It's a real struggle. I hope I can help you out, but I have nothing. Ha ha ha. So I'll just support your streams. Look, I am not looking for any sort of monetary investment. If people, okay, eventually, when I do get like 1,000 or 2,000, or if God is willing, like 100,000 subscribers, if people want to send me money, then so be it. If people want to subscribe to my Patreon, so be it. What I am looking for is social capital, social pull. Like that those that's the main thing I would like. Because if I have that social pull, if I have like 10,000 subscribers, then I can go to a bank, get a business loan, and start my animation studio. And then I'll just be working on different shows and submitting them to like YouTube or Prime Video or Netflix. And I'll just make my money that way. That's really all I care about. Like, if people want to, if people want to subscribe to my channel, then I'm not gonna stop them. But I'm in the business for stealing hearts and minds, not widening my pockets. Like, I would be fine, and I actually think that makes me a more dynamic person if I'm not streaming 4 to 5 times a week. But if I actually have a day job, if it's something like full time or part time, so then I have interesting stories to tell people, and I have subjects to talk about. I mean, like, because if you are a young person, and this is just me, if you are a young person and you want to be on social media, like, instead of just finding random things to talk about that you don't fully understand, maybe you should have like a part-time job or a side job, and then like the crazy stuff that happens you can talk about on your channel. Like that's my personal idea. Cause in my previous streams, like there have been crazy stuff that has happened. I've told y'all like crazy stuff, like my time in college, about how at my job there was a guy who was playing with himself using one of the display phones, like people going into the bathroom and having intercourse, like a bunch of crazy stuff happened, like the cops pulling up and pulling out like two or three shoplifters out the bathroom who were trying to stuff things in their pockets. Um, One of my coworkers, he cursed out our supervisor because he was just angry and fed up, and he got fired. Uh, a bunch of crazy stuff happened. Like Lord have mercy, crazy stuff. Crazy stuff be happening all day, and so I see like these people who stream full time or have a YouTube channel full time. And it's good that they can constantly find things to talk about, but in that same vein, like you're gonna get a lot of content from just being out in the world. Like let's just be honest. And you don't even have to like film it. Like you don't even have to film the crazy stuff that happens in the world. You can just talk about it. And then from the crazy things that happen, like you can have like some sort of message, or it can stick with you for like a day or two. And then you can just like find two or three new video concepts to work on. And having a day job also gives you a mental break from constantly trying to think of new content to make, or feeling like ashamed or feeling bad for not posting or working on a video. I mean, like Seth, you should go out, like go downtown or the Philippines version of like downtown, and just have a night out, and then you should start a stream where you're going over like, hey, I saw this crazy dude. He was puking in a corner, and earlier I saw him. He was chatting with a girl, or like something like that. Something wild like that. Like take experiences out your own life. It's moments like these that help you reflect back on yourself. The crazy things you experience, and like it can be dangerous in the moment, but you're gonna have a field day. That's really all I can say. Is like, and no, nobody wants to. Yeah, of course, everyone has responsibilities, and I don't say that to like mean any sort of like hidden meaning, but like everyone has responsibilities. Everybody has things that they need to do or have to do. Like I still have responsibilities. I still gotta take care of my mom and make sure my dad's okay and everything else. But like, it is good to find time for yourself at least once in a while, so then you don't go crazy. Because you'd be surprised how many people, especially in the U.S., who do so much and barely have time for themselves. And then we as a society wonder why, oh, person X and person Y have gone crazy. It's because they don't take time for themselves. It's because they've just been working from sun up to sundown. Like the human. This is why I never understood the world, because both from a biblical aspect as well as just backed by science, humans are social creatures. Let's just call it what it is. Like humans survive through being social, through forming communities, and through forming groups of not just like minded people, but people that help you reflect on who you are, reflect back on yourself. So I never understood that mindset of, let me clear my throat. So I never understood that mindset of, by the time I get out of high school or by the time I get out of college, I need my own place. Shoot, even the Bible doesn't say that. The Bible says that once you find a wife or a husband, that's when you leave home. Before then, it is perfectly fine for you to stay home. Just don't go crazy with it. Like, we are a communal people. And that means doing things for the community. That means doing things to help the people around you. Which is why, despite exactly, go to your convention. Maybe during a break during your convention, you can like go to a cafe and get yourself a coffee and just enjoy yourself. What was I saying? Humans are naturally communal people. Like we naturally like being around people. Like there are outliers. There are people who like the outdoors or who are okay with living in a shack in the woods, and that's fine. But by and large, we are a society. We like our own space, but we are a society. Especially when it comes to like the family structure. So I never really understood why people felt the need to not take care of themselves and not take care of their home front, their home turf, and going full on in on just helping other people. It's good to be selfless, but there's a difference between being selfless and hurting oneself and one's family. I was actually going to work on my. Hmm. So that's the thing about VTubers. Oh shoot, I forgot. Speaking of VTubers, I forgot to put up my chat. Like you guys have been talking all this time. I'm thinking like, oh, I got my chat up. I got everything up. It's been this long, and I didn't even fix my chat. I'm sorry about that. Let me fix this real quick. I was recording some video earlier, and I forgot to turn my stuff back on. That's why I need to have different. Like you guys have been chatting with me all this time. I've been chatting with y'all all this time, and we haven't. I haven't had my little avatar up. I haven't had anything up. I apologize for that. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But initially, I had plans to work on my own VTuber model, and so this is actually a rough for my VTuber model. And I was looking on guides on the internet on how to make one and all this other stuff because I don't know. I just wanted to make one. 'Now I don't watch VTubers myself, but I do like the concept of I'm 23 years old. How, how old do you think I am? How old did you guys think I was? How old do I sound? Nineteen, 25, 24, 25. That's close. That's close. Yeah. You're 14. Wow. Well, I'm happy to meet you. I'm happy to make your acquaintance. Yes, I am 23. Yes, I am a PNG tuber. I need to I need to work on an actual avatar. I'm gonna work on it. Okay? I'm gonna work on it. But until then, y'all get to see my nice, beautiful chocolate avatar. And yes, I am chocolate in real life as well. Yes, it is a diverse chat right here. We got one person from the Philippines, another person from Afghanistan, and we got and we got me from America. Because we are all unified by our love for art and our love for the arts. So there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, because I have friends from everywhere. I have Christian friends, Jewish friends, atheist friends. There are people who are just naturally kind and naturally nice to me. Like, I have straight friends, gay friends, bisexual. I can connect with anybody, if I'm being completely honest. Well, now I'm glad to have a Muslim friend. Thank you. Wow, 19 views already. This is pretty cool, pretty awesome. And I've been in this stream for 3 hours now. And you know what? I haven't even talked about Miria and her backstory yet. You see, this stream was supposed to. It's Assalamu alaikum or Assalamu alaikum. Oh, I'll see you around. No need to feel bad. But it was good to see you come back again. Charge your phone. And you can be back either later once it's charged or tomorrow because I might end this stream. This is actually one of my longer streams. This is 3 hours long. So I think I'm just going to finish this pose right here and call it for the day. Because I'm also very hungry, and aside from like a cup of coffee and a cinnamon bun, I haven't really eaten anything. So, ooh, I might make myself a fried spam and egg sandwich. That sounds really good. Oh, then go to sleep. Yeah, shouldn't you have school by now? You you staying up till 11:06. You have school. You're 14. You have school. Okay, don't do that anymore. School is important. It's 11:06 and you should be been in bed getting ready for school the next day. Oh yeah, today it is Saturday. I forgot. You see, where I work Saturdays and Sundays. I mean, I know that's why I'm trying to find a better job so then I don't have to work on Sundays because the Sabbath. And so really Wednesdays are like my Fridays. So I'm off Monday. So I'm off Thursday and Friday. And I forgot myself for a second. I'm sorry. I mean, it's okay to stay up late on Friday night, but still, like, you shouldn't be staying up too late. See you around. Yeah, I think I'm going to finish this pose and then I'm just gonna call it for the day because I've been going at it for 3 hours. You know, honestly, that's why I like my Friday streams because I can comfortably go as long as I want to. And you guys keep me going. I'm just gonna call it what it is. Like the more I talk to people, the longer I go. So if you guys want to keep me on a stream, just talk to me. That's really all it takes. Yeah, definitely more chats, but next time. Yeah, the platform heel sneakers were definitely a good idea. Yeah, I read manga. I've read manga before. I actually tried making a mini comic, but I fell out of love with it. It wasn't really my thing, which is kind of sad. I mean, whenever I say, like, oh, it wasn't my thing, I do feel a bit self conscious of that because as artists, sometimes, at least me personally, it feels like I have to do everything. And I do know that there are other artists who do think the same way, where they think they need to have skill in everything, be able to do everything, not necessarily be perfect, but sort of any medium they have an accurate understanding of and have the ability to do it. That's just not me, but I would at the very least like to have a strong understanding of a few mediums. And that's the thing about art and someone's art journey, is that they have to do the work and they have to do that sort of self insight where they discover what it is they like, what it is about the art that they like, and what they enjoy the most. We all discover what we like late in life, and then we reflect, like, oh, dang, I wish I did that while I was still in high school. I wish I did that while I was still in college. A while ago, I had made like a few videos broaching on those subjects. I forgot the names of them. They're sort of old. It was like it's a I know it's in my tips and tricks series, and I did touch on it a bit in my Indian artist video, but essentially I go over that we as artists are all on our own journey and we're all taking our own time to reach where we want to, and how, while it's good to plan, sometimes your plan can fall through. But anyway, this is Miria. She is the sixth sage. She is a singer, songwriter, and performer. A lovely design. She's just beautiful. She's just beautiful. She's got the afro puffs going on, which is what I love about her. Um, thank you, thank you. I tried my best with her. This is the character I could say that I definitely took my time on. I mean, how do I put it? I take my time on all of them, but Miria was the design that I very much loved, I very much enjoyed, and I really wanted to get right. I really wanted to get Miria right, and I really wanted to keep her consistent in how I drew her. The next character I do is going to be the fifth sage. His name is Anansi, and so he is a spider beastkin. So he's like half spider, half humanoid, and he uses a lot of illusion magic because he's so young. But we'll worry about that later. Anyway, I just need to finish the line art for these other two poses, and then I can get into coloring, which is so fun and so amazing, and I'm just gushing over it right now. But still, you see, I'm working in reverse. You see, that's how I get viewers, and that's how I get attention, is I have to work in reverse. I have to go from like the smaller characters or like the lower ranking characters up to like the big man and the leader himself. Like that's what I'm gonna do, and that's how I'm gonna go about it. But I like her short shorts. I like her little tank top that is off her shoulder, and sort of like the chaps that sort of go down into bell bottoms. It's a This is a nice design, and I can't wait to color her because I definitely think that, ooh, would it be good if I did like red and white, or if I went for more like a lilac color, or like I don't want to go pink. Like let me look at some like good designs, like good Y2K fashion, and then I'll choose and decide what color her color scheme is gonna be. I know I'm a tease, but you love me anyway. But anyway, that about does it. Wow, almost 3.5 hours in. This is some good time. This is a nice long stream. All the people who couldn't make it here, who watch late, they are going to feast. They are going to have a lot of content to watch and catch up on. I hope it's not too long though. Anyway, I'm going to finish up the line art eat off stream. Hopefully, I'll finish it off stream. So then, by my next stream, all I have to do is just color. And yeah, I can start writing the character backstory and working on her backstory video like I did for Saren. I have my painting to do, IRL. I then have my animation I need to work on. And I have a pretty busy day for myself. But you know what they say, an idle mind is the devil's playground, so I better get to work. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I'm very happy and excited because I went from 346 to up to 351. So my progress is slow progress, but it's progress nonetheless. You see, I'm the kind of guy who I like to not grow fast, but I like to get a loyal fan base. I like to get people who are really loyal and ride with me, like the beautiful Seth and Um, Computer. Yeah, Computer edits. He just joined, but I can tell he's gonna be a loyal one too. But yeah, talk to your friends, share my videos, share my stuff. I stream Tuesdays and Fridays around noon. Like, comment, subscribe. This has been Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art. And I'll see you guys in my next video or stream. Bye.